Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Halo Weekly. This is the show where we talk about everything Halo from the previous week and everything you need to know going into the next week. As usual, we have a lot to discuss in today's video. A lot of news has happened in the previous week and a lot is going into the next week as well. So make sure you guys stick around to get all of the need to know information around Halo and the universe around it as well. Drop a like if you do learn something new, guys, and subscribe to the channel for more episodes of Halo Weekly coming every single week. And also, if you are subscribed, make sure you guys ring that notification bell to be notified whenever a video does go live, so you have the immediate scoop when Halo Weekly and other videos does go live. But guys, let's get straight into it. Okay, so before we do get into today's video, make sure you guys go down below and check the timestamps in the description to skip to whichever part of the video that you would like to. So, what's fixed, broken, or just straight up busted in Halo this week? Well, the first story for today is actually an update that was pushed out on the 22nd of February within Halo Infinite, and this was aimed at resolving some of the many ranked issues that were plaguing the game for a long time, pretty much since launch. Now, a lot of players were experiencing issues whereby they were placed into brackets that were too high, that didn't accurately represent their skill level, or people were being placed into brackets that were way too low. And this was a massive talking point in the community since the game had launched. However, on the 22nd, a change did go out to change some of the back-end algorithm to be a little more harsh when placing people into their correct rankings. Due to the ranks being reset mid-season, which we're midway through Season 1, which is really unusual to have ranks reset the middle of the season, and to accommodate for this as well, in the unusual reset within the middle of the season, it will work a little bit differently up until Season 2. So I believe the way that it works is once you finish your placement matches, you'll be placed into your new rank. If you were Onyx previously, the system will know that you have essentially been an Onyx player previously, which means it will provide you less of a grind in order to get back to that Onyx rank, just because, again, it's mid-season, we're still in Season 1, so giving you that full grind again is a bit of a pain. So they've essentially mitigated that so that you don't have to grind as much in order to get back to the Onyx rank. However, in Season 2, when that does drop, everyone will be on a level playing field when it comes to reaching Onyx, and everyone will need to play the same amount of matches and go through all of the same brackets as usual. But as I mentioned, just because they have reset the ranks within the middle of Season 1, they have tried to accommodate for people in that aspect as well. So complete your 10 placement matches and see where it ranks you. As I mentioned, if you do rank lower this time compared to last time, it's probably just due to the system being a little bit harsher this time. So if you were placed in Diamond last time, you're most likely going to be placed in Gold this time. So you'll be placed a rank below as to what you were placed previously. So just bear that in mind. Following this update as well, on the 24th February, another set of changes were implemented into Halo Infinite, covering fixes across all modes, issues that were visible cross-platform that were causing issues, multiplayer fixes, and even a couple of campaign fixes as well. And no new content, just some bug fixes within the campaign. One of those fixes, which is a really positive one, is actually improved anti-cheat improvement and cheat detection. There are a lot of cheaters on PC, and you can almost guarantee that really with any free game which comes to Steam. But hopefully some of these tweaks will help mitigate the cheater scenario from getting any worse, and I hope it does see as some form of improvement on PC as well, and even on console in some way, because of obviously crossplay. A couple of other changes to mention as well. Some fixes to audio were implemented, so some weapon noises and grenade noises and things like that were fixed because there were some bugs with a couple of them on different game modes, so that should be all rectified now if you've noticed those in the past week or two. Sound effects from receiving damage as well as enemy footsteps and gunfire are now a lot louder in multiplayer's audio mix. The combat sensor's range has increased from 18 meters to 25 meters in big team battle as well, which is very needed. Added new telemetry to help our developers gather more information on shot registration issues. Read the development team's in-depth analysis on these issues and their plans for future mitigation. So again, I'll leave that in the description down below if you want to go check that out. But yeah, I'm glad they're looking into the hit registration and taking it a little bit more seriously. After receiving a matchmaking ban, players can select the play button in any matchmaking playlist to see when their ban will end. Players standing on destroyed vehicles will no longer experience stutters or desync. These are just a few, but there are quite a few changes that came within this update itself. So again, I'll leave a link down below in the description for you to go check it out if you're interested in what has actually changed. There are quite a few, a couple of campaign ones as well to resolve some bugs in there, and again, some known issues as well. So if you run into anything, you can always check the known issue list and see if it complies with that. But again, links all down below. In other news, the Fractured Samurai event has returned for the 4th damn time. The trailer itself is absolutely sick. Like one of the best trailers that we've had for events in Halo Infinite so far. I love it a lot. But man, I just have no motivation to get this piece of armor, no matter how many times they try and ram it down my throat. Because a week later, the exact same piece of armor, just a different color, will be available in the store for me to buy. But if that's what you guys are into, you can jump back on now and play the Samurai event for the 4th time. It's due to return another 2 times before Season 1 comes to an end. So what's new in the store this week? Well, 343 added some sick Dragon BR skin that, from this angle, looks amazing, right? Well, we haven't seen it in first person yet. This is it. Did 343 realise that Halo is a first-person game? Bro, this looks awful. It's like my BR has a literal Cheeto at the end of the gun. I've definitely seen better skins. However, this is in the store right now, so I believe you can go and purchase it if you really, really wanted to. But again, I don't really like the look of it from looking at first person. Third person looks amazing, but it's just not mine from the first person, unfortunately. Alongside this as well, there are a couple of other effects coming to the store as well. One's called the Enlightened Blossom, which is a death effect as well. And the other is an AR skin called Crimson Skied, which looks very nice also. No doubt they'll be extremely overpriced in the store, but it's worth a mention. And then this is the store as of this week. That's enough of that. Now, let's get onto the meat and potatoes of this news video. Campaign DLC. It's what you're all here for, right?
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
So, in the last week, we've had a lot of leaked news about Campaign DLC and how it might work in Halo Infinite, which could lead to how often we actually see it drop within Halo Infinite as well. So, I'm going to put a tweet on screen right now. I'm going to look at it. Very interesting. In some of the leaked pre-release builds of Halo Infinite that are circulating online, some of the story files within that are labelled Campaign Season 1. We don't think there'll be seasonal story additions, but we don't really know what to make of it. Any guesses? Now, here's a piece of text taken directly from the game files and some of these pre-release builds. Now, this is what they were talking about, the strand of text. Now, it does mention here, you can see DLC name equals base game. Then we've got DLC name equals Campaign Season 1, and then Campaign Season 2, Endless. Now, this is really, really interesting. Now, one, let's go back right to the very, very start where Microsoft or 343 trademarked Halo Endless, and that's been something that they've trademarked and potentially we should see coming maybe later on in the year or early next year. However, what I want to go into in this is, as we can see, it shows Campaign Season 1 and Campaign Season 2. Now, there's a couple of ways that we can interpret this, and I want to discuss both of them right now. So, the campaign we're playing at the moment would be the base game, and we can see that within the strand of text on screen. Everything after the base game that we're playing so far would be then Season 1. Season 1, I suspect, would most likely give us answers to things like the UNSC sides of things, so also things along with Atriox. So Season 1, I suspect, will give us most of the answers likely around the UNSC, where they are, what happened to the Infinity, etc. And also Atriox, how he survived, how he opened and found the Endless, so where the Infinity is, all of the main characters aboard the Infinity, how did Atriox survive, and his motivations for releasing the Endless in a sense. The weapon, her name, what happened to Cortana fully, how she died, how she blew up the Silent Auditorium. These things we don't know so far, so I think Season 1 will be a very good thing and place to be able to tell us and give us that information. All of this happening whilst humanity and the Banished are still going to war with each other. Potentially, if Zeta Halo was slip space to the Ark, or we know that it was slip space towards the end of the game, we don't really know at the moment where it was slip space to, but we know it has. We could potentially see the return of factions like the Keepers of One Freedom, the Spirit of Fire maybe. So my theory on this is, and I think this is a pretty concrete one, and it does make a lot of sense, Season 1 of the campaign will not include the Endless, and to be honest, when you put it in this way, you can kind of see why they might do this. So Atriox doesn't actually free the Endless at the end of the campaign. Atriox finds the location of the Endless's Silexes, but he hasn't actually freed the faction. He knows where the Silexes are, he knows the location of them, but in order to open them, you need a Reclaimer. Atriox is not a Reclaimer, so Atriox cannot open those Silexes. So my theory is that Season 1 of the campaign will be, again, filling in the gaps of the mainline storyline, finding the Infinity, finding these main characters, learning more around Atriox, how Cortana died, the weapon's name, all of those sorts of things, but also the motivation now for the Banished is to try and free the Endless. Now we need to understand why they want to free the Endless, and they need to understand how they can free the Endless. The only way to do that is to have someone from humanity or the Reclaimer to open those Silexes. So they need to capture someone from the UNSC, a Marine, an ODST, maybe even the Master Chief, to open those Silexes to free the Endless faction. Then in Season 2, when the Endless are free, this is where we fight them and learn what they are, their motivations, and things like that. Obviously within Season 1 we'll learn more around the Endless, we'll have more information on them, what they are. Potentially one of the Silexes are released within the first season of campaign, and then after that in Season 2, that's when we get the full amount of Silexes that are released, and the entire faction of the Endless are set free into Zeta Halo. For me, that would make a lot more sense, because looking at it, it can be quite confusing. I mean, as we've seen at the end of the campaign, Aatrox finds the Endless and he's looking to free them, but he doesn't free them right there. So I think everyone needs to understand that point and not say that Aatrox has freed the Endless, because he hasn't freed the Endless just yet. He's found the location of the Endless and he needs a Reclaimer to free them. Maybe that was the job of the Harbinger before she died. We don't really know at the moment, and now Aatrox has got to find someone that's willing to help him free the Endless, whether that's capturing a member of the UNSC or a member of humanity, or if it's just generally finding a Reclaimer that's on the ring somewhere, maybe another version of the Harbinger. However, another question around this is that the campaign will work in seasons, right? Which for me will mean that we potentially will be getting regular, smaller expansions similar to what we do with Destiny within that one season to progress the story throughout the year. Similar to, as I mentioned, with Destiny, or we could get one longer campaign version per year. What would you guys want to see in out of those two things? For me personally, I want 3 smaller expansions per season, and that season could last the entire year. We don't really know, just so it keeps the story alive and kicking. I feel that Destiny does a great job at this, by the way. Always keeping the community on their toes, lore hunting. It's just a really, really good fun thing to do. The story is regular and ever expanding, and if Halo are to do their campaign in seasons and do a similar thing and take a similar approach, I think this will be a really, really good way of doing things. And looking at it from a broader perspective, Joe Staten will know very well about the model of Destiny after working with Bungie on Destiny 1 and the start of Destiny 2, so it's definitely possible. Unfortunately though, there's not really a date for this yet, and the roadmap has been delayed until further notice. And I don't think we're going to get an answer to this until Season 2 of multiplayer anyway. And yes, to put it out there, campaign seasons and multiplayer seasons, I think they will be completely separate. Multiplayer seasons will last a few months between each other, and content can be sent out and churned out pretty quickly for a multiplayer side of things. But campaign seasons will take so much longer to perfect and complete, along with polishing and making sure the story is engaging and doesn't feel rushed. This is why I don't think we'll see DLC till maybe the holiday season, which is around Christmas time this year, or even anything remote about DLC. However, a promising sign though is that these are pre-release games, bearing in mind. These are pre-release versions of Halo Infinite that we can see and we're getting this information from. So if pre-release versions of Halo Infinite are floating around and we've got this strand of text within there, this just shows that 2 DLCs are potentially already completed within Halo Infinite. So these DLCs could drop at any time right now, which, as I mentioned in previous videos, I'll be very, very surprised if DLC 1 or DLC 2 were not completed by now, or even in their polishing stages, to give them time to work on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. So it's really, really positive that these 2 seasons are potentially already done or going through the polishing stage, and if they are in the files as early as pre-release games, is a very positive sign. However, when Season 2 does come to Halo Infinite multiplayer, we should get things like co-op in there as well, and some more details and indication as to when DLC for the campaign, or even an indicator on when a roadmap will be coming for the campaign. So yeah, look out for that one, guys. I will do a video on it as soon as it's here, but let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. So what's going on in the world of gaming that's not necessarily related to Halo in general? Elden Ring has officially launched globally and is taking the world by storm. I'm very excited to jump in and give this game a go. It looks so cool, and on Steam it's averaging around 600,000 players per 24 hours, and that's its lowest concurrent player count. That is insane. It peaked at around 764,000 people at one stage on Steam, and yeah, that's just absolutely mind-blowing. That's not taking into account consoles either, so it must have been easily over 1 million players at one time on that game at the same time. So yeah, really, really crazy, absolutely smashing numbers. The game looks great, and I wish it all its best going forward. I just wish Halo Infinite had some content we could talk about. Okay, so what's worth an honorable mention in the community this week? Well, the Makiar, I'm really sorry if I butchered your name, on Twitter, has literally made Spartan legs. How? is this possible? This is next level 3D printing. It's unbelievable, and I think it's actually going to make a full suit of Spartan armor. So yeah, the original tweet will be down in the description down below if you want to go check it out and give him some love and show him some love on how cool this is. The next one isn't directly community related, but I wanted to bring it up because it just shows how powerful Halo Infinite actually is and what a good game it really is at its core. Halo Infinite was voted the action game of the year at the DICE Awards. It's really an amazing game at its heart. Halo Infinite's movement, the way it feels, the mechanics of the game are very, very good. The grapple, the way that you can slide around the map, the way you can get momentum after sliding, just generally the gunplay, how satisfying the gunplay is when it works and there's no desync or hit registration issues. But it just lacks a lot to keep you wanting to go back. With the fundamentals of an FPS shooter not in the game, like a ranking system, a service record, all of these stuff, and generally just modes like Forge, Firefight that aren't in the game just yet, even co-op, it just doesn't really give you the motivation to want to go back and play the game more and more and more. I mean, speaking for myself anyway, for me, I have not had the motivation to play Halo Infinite properly in a number of, I'd probably say a month or so now, but again, I jump back on every here now and then, but yeah, it's just not the same without those fundamental features. But yeah, hopefully the game brings it, and yeah, we all enjoy it for a long time to come, and I'm sure that we will. But guys, that's going to do it for today's Halo Weekly video. A lot to talk about, which really does spark the interest of a lot of people around campaign and other DLCs coming in the future as well. So yeah, a lot of big news on this episode, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. If you have, just leave a like, it'd be very much appreciated. If you learned something new as well, leave a like, it'd be much appreciated. Subscribe for more content coming to the channel, guys, each and every single day. Halo Weekly does happen every single Friday, so make sure you look out for that if you do enjoy the series that we do on the channel. Ring the notification bell as well to be notified when any video does go live. Ring that notification bell to be notified whenever. Also, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever a video does go live on the channel. And yeah, take care, guys. Speak soon. Enjoy your weekend.